Okay, I'm not sure if we are live right now at the moment, but I believe we might be. So, welcome to another episode of Tuition Tuesday and hot seat guesting. I came up with a new word for it today, and it was called teach guesting. Teach guesting, because what we tend to do is we do a little bit of, teaching to start with. And then we have our hot seat guest come on the show for the latter part. And of course, in the middle of all of that, we have, our group on and people who are watching us live on YouTube or live through the Facebook page or group to ask any questions relating to the subject matter of what's being taught or anything to do with the guest experts, sphere of influence and what they bring to the call. So welcome to Tuesday Tuition. It is the 18th of May today. My name is Netty B and I am your host for this particular session. And I've got a great guest on for you tonight, and I'll reveal a little bit more for you in a little while. So I'm just going to check just to make sure that everything is working and moving, and we have people coming in the door right now. Fabulous. Okay, so I'm just going to pop into the Facebook group and make sure that we are streaming there as well. Okie dokie, looks like everything is flowing perfectly. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in. And for those of you who are catching this on the replay, we are on week 3 of the series Sell with Soul. So I'm just going to ask for those of you who are on live with me in the Zoom, if you could just put your videos on mute for me, please, and your audios on mute whilst I just deliver this part of the teaching, and then we can come forward and get you on board if you want to ask any questions. So thank you to those of you who are here with me right now. And as I was saying, we are on week 3 of the Sell with Soul series. And what this series is really all about is a lot of coaches, entrepreneurs, service-based business owners, and even people selling products maybe for the first time, either online or, offline, struggle with how to sign on their new clients. All right. So I developed this course, this training program called, Sell with Soul, how to turn your prospects into paying clients. And I know that this is a major problem for a lot of people in all spheres of their working lives, and one that I believe that, as female entrepreneurs in particular, we need to get better at doing, because men generally don't have a problem with selling things, but women, we need to get better at doing that. So the series that I'm sharing with you right now covers three areas we've covered so far, has another 2 points to go. And last week we spoke about knowing what your clients want and needs are, and of course having your offer match their needs. And the point that we were making last week is this, that you might have a fabulous service out there that helps lots and lots of people, but you're actually still put off by sharing your offer. And you're put off because a lot of people might turn around and say no. And this can be a real dampener, especially if you're not used to hearing that. But as we know, in the world of marketing and, even the world of MLM, you've got to hear 99 no's before you get a yes. But that can be very discouraging. So that's the reason why I decided to do some short teachings on how to help you understand to sell with soul. So you're doing it, in a non-salesy way, you're doing it in a way that's authentic to yourself, but also gets you the results that you want with regards to helping you to sign on your new clients. Okay, that then eliminates all the discomfort that you might be feeling and actually removes that hurdle and that blockage, because that's something that you must overcome if you want to be a successful business owner offline and of course offline, because without clients, effectively, you don't have a business. So in today's session, I want to bring to you another strategy just to consider and to add into the bag of what you've already learned before. But just before I do that, I just want to introduce myself to anybody that might not know me out there. My name is Netty Bryan, and I am the founder of the #1 Faith and Money Breakthrough Business Coaching Academy for faith-filled female entrepreneurs and coaches. And what we do here in the academy is we train you, we edify you, we equip you, and we release you with all the things that you need to start and launch a successful business online, doing what you love and serving the people that you love. And also the other part of what I do is I'm the creator of the Miracle Money Breakthrough Movement. I haven't spoken about this much, but that's what I am. And this movement is really designed to help women everywhere understand their relationship to money, so that they can actually start synchronizing their spiritual and their financial destinies. And I do this through a program I created called the Money and Me program, because the truth of the matter is how you do money is how you do everything. All right, so that's a little bit about my story, who I am and what I do, but let's move on for what we're going to be talking about today. If you are tuning in through the YouTube live, I'd love for you to like, subscribe and share this video, and also pop your notifications on, because I'll be bringing you lots more content over the coming weeks and months that I'm sure will help you and inspire you in your journey as an entrepreneur. All right, so today we're talking about being confident in yourself and of course being confident in your service. And would you agree with me that confidence goes a long way in selling effectively? Because if you lack confidence when it comes to selling, you're probably going to fall into one of two or three categories. One, you might have a great conversation with somebody on the phone, but then you might forget to ask for the money. Two, you might have a wonderful conversation on the phone. And the second point is you might ask for the money, but then forget to actually put the transaction through. Or number three, you might have a wonderful conversation on the phone and forget to even tell them how much your service is. So then you end up giving away free coaching. And that's not what really being in business is all about. And if you agree with that, wherever you're watching from, I want you to pop into the comments or the chat and just say, you know what, Netty, I totally get what you're saying. So the key thing in being confident, in yourself and of course in your services is to understand the unique value that you offer. Okay, if someone could write that in the comments for me. Understand the unique value that you offer. And the other thing that's really key that you want to get under your belt is understanding the strength of your service, because you didn't just create your coaching program out of nothing. You either went through something, you studied to become an expert in what you do, you've experienced something in life that you feel that you have under your belt, under your wing right now, that you can perhaps teach to other people. I want you to start thinking about your own skills, okay? So for example, let me just give you a brief example. You might be an excellent person who writes marketing messages, or maybe an excellent copywriter who helps people to write their sales pages that convert. So you kind of need to think about, in your world, what is your unique skill? Another might be, you might have a unique skill that other people don't provide in their specific service. So consider, what it is that makes you unique, that makes you stand out from the competition, and start really honing in on that message and really trying to upserve yourself by crafting that skill, crafting that expertise, and of course, getting it out to market. I want you to consider this. Consider your service packages. What is it about your package offer that is valuable or unique that your clients will, really want to work with you because of that specific one thing? Now, when I'm talking to prospective clients, one of the things that I say to them about my coaching business is that my promise and my guarantee is that I will care for you, I will coach you, and of course, I will be flexible in the way that I deliver my services. Now, what does this really mean in reality? This means that if life happens, okay, because yes, you might sign up for coaching one day, let's give you an example of a 3-month or a 6-month program, but then something happens in your family, or something happens to you maybe with your health, and you might need to take a break from that. Generally, in coaching packages, you're signing up for a specific length of time, and then when that time runs out, so does your coaching. So in other words, you might have paid thousands of pounds, but yet not have completed the entire module or the entire deliverables of that specific package. Now, the unique selling point for mine is that I will coach you, care for you, and give you that flexibility to put the brakes on halt the coaching program at that specific time. And then we have what we call a reintroduction meeting, setting some agenda for when you are able to come back and complete the coaching that we started. Now, that might not suit some providers, but that really works for me. And my customers, my clients, totally value that, and actually quite a few of them have taken advantage of that special thing guarantee that I have for my coaching business. So in your business, you need to find, that thing that makes you unique, that makes you stand out in the marketplace. Alternatively to that, you also need to know where your service is weak, right? So you've got to do a bit of research about what you're doing, maybe what other people are offering, but also take a real candid look at your service and decide some areas where you might need to tighten up and tweak. So if you know your areas of weakness, then that equips you then to actually fill those gaps with, whatever it is that you might need in your service. If you're not very good at maybe marketing, if you're not very good at maybe follow-up, then you might need to work out how you can help to enhance your service so that you're giving a very rounded, offering to your potential clients. The other thing that you need to consider is comparing your package to others and maybe finding ways that you can be set apart from them. All right, so that really just means doing a little bit of market research with your competitors, finding the gaps, and then filling those gaps to actually enhance the service or the product that you are offering. All right, so one way you can do that, it's just a bit of an exercise for you in this particular wrap up, is to clarify the unique value of the product by writing your unique value proposition. Now, some of you might be thinking, what is that, Netty? I haven't heard of that before. Let me just explain. Your unique value proposition is just one statement that describes what your product does and actually how it helps the people that you want to serve. So let me just give you an example. Let's say, I'm a website builder or website creator. So the unique value statement or proposition would be, I build your websites so you don't have to. Okay, can you see in that example? It's nothing complex, it's so simple. So I build websites so that you don't have to. Let's just say you are an online, service provider or of customer relationship management, solution. So, your unique selling point might be that you provide simple social media. You provide like CRM solutions that help you manage customers and maximize sales. Another familiar example might be that you're into social media. And this one might be that you provide simple social media dashboards where you'll take in everything at a glance. Your clients can take in everything that they need to look at with regards to the social media on one singular platform. So those that are just giving you just a few ideas of how you can craft your unique value proposition for your business. Okay, there's going to be lots of good strategies out there, as well, that will help you to instill confidence. But if you do those things, trust me, not only will your confidence grow in understanding what value you bring, but when you share that value with your audience, they're going to then, in contrast, have confidence that you can deliver on what you say. Okay, so I'd like to just share with you my own 6 secrets that have really helped me in business do exactly that. So if you've got a pen and paper, you might want to write these down. Number 1 is to recognize yourself as an expert. All right, so you want to recognize yourself as the expert that you are. And the reason why I say this and why you can start utilizing this from day one is because you know more about your topic or maybe your area of business and expertise than your potential audience. All right, because the thing is this, or the truth is that you've spent a great deal of time, honing your craft, studying your craft, and you may not see yourself as an expert, but this actually makes you one. Number 2, I want you to consider every single win that you've had. Think about the people that have signed up for your email list. Think about some of those prospects that have expressed an interest in what you have to offer. You've received maybe a tiny sale. It doesn't have to be big wins. These can be very small wins. It's fine. I want you to focus on every single win, even if you've helped somebody for free and they've benefited and they've had transformation. That is still something to pull out the red carpet for, all right? Each of these little victories must be recognized, all right? And here's my power tip. Here's my power tip for you. Recognizing these victories actually builds momentum and ups your confidence. And remember, everyone has to start somewhere. I didn't start here, I started from ground zero. And that's why I actually named my own expert signature system the Dream Business Launchpad, because I totally understand what it takes to launch a business from scratch. Number 3 is I want you to visualize success. Really important. You've got to be able to see yourself where you want to be. And think about, the average athlete. That's what they do. If you've got someone on a running track, they visualize themselves at the end goal. So that's exactly what you need to do, in business as well. Fantasize, just imagine what it's going to be like to win that gold medal of signing on your new client and sharing your business with confidence. Because when you do this, it gives you the feelings of positivity. It definitely gives you that feeling of confidence as well. Number 4, I want you to focus on lifting people up around you. All right. This is a way that we call it servitude. I want you to focus on encouraging and really uplifting people around you, because, business isn't built, by one person. We need to joint venture. We need to partner. And one way I feel that has worked in my business is to support my fellow brother or my fellow sister by recognizing the achievements of those around us. And actually, how I start each of my coaching sessions is by way of celebration. I'm asking my clients, so what have you been up to? What are you celebrating this week? And the key point here is when you see the good in others, it's going to be much easier to see the good in yourself. Number 5, only associate with positive people. I can't stress this enough. The key point, surround yourself with people that, make each other feel good. And of course, the opposite to that is you want to cut all of the negativity and all of the toxic people out there, both in your life and in your business, professionally and personally. Hard one, but you really do need to do that shaving away and enhance those people around you that are going to lift you up, feed your spirit, feed your mind, and help elevate you to the next level in your life or in your business. I'm sure you would agree with me on that one. And finally, step number 6 is to view each step in your life as a learning activity, each step in your business as a learning activity, because everything you do is really learning. Even when you make a mistake or when you fail, that truly is your first attempt in learning. Okay, you're naturally going to feel stung by it, because there are many times in my life I've tried, I've attempted, I've failed, I've cried, because I didn't think things were going to work. But what kept me going was keeping my eyes on that end goal, imagining what it would be like in that place where I know that I have that end in mind of what I want to achieve. That is what keeps me going, keeping my eyes on that end prize, because everything we do is all about learning. And of course, when you're developing your expert signature systems, what you're doing is you're creating a system that's going to teach others something that you have either been through yourself, something that you've learned, and also will include all of the pitfalls so that they don't have to spend those 5 years, those 10 years, or those 15 years or 20 years creating it and making those same mistakes. So that's where people will pay you for your expertise. So I hope you've enjoyed week 3 of the Sell with Soul series. And just a little bit of homework for those of you who want to indulge me is I'd love for you to take a good look at your current offer that you have right now and find the genuine strengths of it and the unique ways it solves people's problems. That's the first piece. Secondly, I want you to try out one of the confidence strategies I gave you out of those 6 strategies for yourself, and let me know in the comments how it's worked for you. Okay. if you've liked what you've heard so far in week 3, I'd love for you to, again, leave a comment to let me know below. And of course, if you do complete the tasks that I've mentioned, leave your comments below and I'll make sure and look at those and respond, okay? Again, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Okay, so if we have anybody online, I'm just going to check in right now before we start the second part of our Tuition Tuesday and Hot Seat session. I'm just going to have a quick look in the chat and make sure we are on. Okay, I've got a very special guest for you tonight. And okay, doesn't seem to be anything as far as chat is concerned. Absolutely fine. So we are going to move swiftly into the second part of our session right now. And I have a very special guest, as I'm saying, for you right now. You know, we're all about faith-filled females. We're all about female empowerment, okay? But how many have you know that oftentimes it takes men as well to help us females to regulate ourselves, helps us females to actually push ourselves forward. So my guest tonight is not only a very special friend of mine, but he's also, you know, somebody I've worked with in business, in partnership as well. And he calls himself a mindset coach and trainer. And what he does is he helps professional women and men over 40, help them to start over and unleash their true potential and live a life of purpose and fulfillment and swap procrastination for productivity. So I want to introduce my special guest tonight. His name is Rudy Ebanks. So welcome, Rudy, if you'd like to come online with us tonight. Hello. Give you a round of applause. Hey, welcome.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Beautiful. It is my pleasure to have you as the first and the Genesis male on the program. I'm hoping to interview a few more as we go on, but you're very welcome. And let me just get up. So I've got some questions that I'm so excited to get, you know, into asking you tonight. But first of all, Rudy, just introduce yourself to our audience, please.
Yeah, thank you very much, Netty. So my name is Rudy Ebanks. My side hustle is an inspirational mindset coach and trainer. The purpose that the reason I put this together really is to help people fulfill their true potential, really in order for them to live their best lives right now. You know, over the last few years, particularly, people have been falling sick, people are getting older, of course, and people are just unhappy in their lives. So my desire to help people really maximize their time here on earth and become the best version of themselves. So I believe that the best investment you can make is in yourself.
100% agree. And I love it. You know, you said, you know, not just only make the best of their life, but make the best of their time on earth. Really specific, right? Because, you know, we only get one time. And actually, if we waste it, it's never coming back to us. So I really do love what you are doing. So really tell us, you know, how long have you been on this specific journey?
I've been on the journey for quite a few years, actually, on and off. So the idea behind the program that I've put together is to actually help people who have that kind of imposter syndrome and that procrastination and shiny object, because I've been there, I've experienced it, I've done it. And so my journey has been one of self-discovery, a lot of learning, a lot of self-reflection. And so the journey has allowed me to become the person I am now, quite happy, quite confident, and quite successful in my own right doing what I'm doing. So it's been an interesting journey thus far.
Yes, I know. And I've been fortunate enough to actually share a good few years of that journey with you. And, you know, Rudy is actually quite a very fundamental part of my own personal story. And for those of you who have listened to my previous workshops, you would hear me speak on day 2 about this mystery man called Rudy. Well, here he is right in front of you, you know, today. And the reason why he is such a special person in my life is because he introduced me to, you know, a gentleman called Andy Harrington, who I'd never heard of before in my life. And then I later went on to be one of his master coaches in his professional speaking coaching training. And I owe that to Rudy, who introduced me to his little book called From Passion to Profit. And that really just, spearheaded everything that I was doing. So Rudy, thank you so much for sharing a little bit about your journey. So tell us then, a bit about your program. Tell us your expert signature system. What does it look like? What it's all about? Share that with us.
I think if I was to go through the a little bit of the journey to give you how I've got into where I am, it's essentially starting off in a corporate environment and then working for somebody else, basically giving all your time and effort to somebody else, building somebody else's dream effectively, and seeing people like managers and supervisors rise above and put you where they want you to be, and so I decided I wanted to get out of that environment, and I used to be a pastor. So one of the my past roles was a pastor, looking after people and supporting people. I gave my time away, so I gave away a lot. And so over the last few years, going through some of the things, including depression and low self-esteem, etc., all those things, I decided to come out of that, break out of that jail. And so the program is really basically everything I've experienced and how I got out of it, how I got through it. And so the program is over. It deals with this master your productivity, which is a fantastic title, I think, because really one of the things that we're struggling with is that we're not as productive as we'd like to be. And I've kind of unearthed a secret for me personally. So I break it down like this. You have to master your mind. Your mindset is the rudder for your success. And so I believe that the mind, once you got your mind right and you start believing yourself, you stop believing the lies and the words that people have said about you and to you, and start talking to yourself and to your God, you start recognizing that there's something in you that there is worth someone dying for. That's my belief. And so if that is the case, I'm worthy, full stop. That's one thing. And then if I think you kind of mentioned it as well, and I agree that you ought to start recognizing yourself as the expert, because no one can be
100%.
better than you. No one can be better than me. You know what I mean? So once I start investing in myself, I recognize that my mindset has to shift. I got to transform my mind. And so that's one thing. And then I realized that I need somebody else to support me. I can't do it all myself. No man is an island. So I believe that you have to have an accountability. So the first thing is about mindset. The second thing, you have to have accountability. Someone to jimmy you along. The third thing is basically you have a strategy. You have to have a plan. And the fourth thing is really you need to be have a time set for yourself to where you want to achieve it. Otherwise, you keep going around in circles. So you mentioned it again, keeping the eye on the goal. That keep your eye on the prize. Don't get distracted. They think life is going to happen to you, but people complain they haven't got time. There's 24 hours in a day. We don't manage time. We manage the activities, and that's one of the core things that people have to recognize. Oprah's got 24 hours. Tony Robbins got 24 hours. All these guys have got 24 hours, but they're doing marvelous and wonderful things. We've got the same time as well. What are we doing within that time frame? So time is a big thing. And then in vision, you talk about this quite a bit, so I'm quite excited to share this as well. That you've got to visualize where you want to go. You have to have that idea that, where are you going, and see it in your mind's eye. Without a vision, you will perish, literally. So I believe that that's a big thing as well. And the last thing is really about resourcefulness. So basically, you may not have all the answers. You may not have be the expert in the area, but you need to be. You don't have to know everything. You just need to know somebody who does know something a little bit more than you sometimes. But you need to be resourceful. You've got all the information, all the things that you need to be successful. It's in you, and so that's what the program covers.
That's absolutely wonderful, Rudy. And I love your, mastering procrastination, or should I say, give me the name. Master your productivity. We change, master your productivity. It was historically, and this is why naming your expert signature system is so vital. And the reason why I personally know a lot about Rudy's expert signature system is because we're working together on creating it and building that out. And one of the things that we did say was you've got to make sure that you title your system in the positive, right? But this took a little while for it to click in. So it's a beautiful program. Is helping, people to, again, get through the challenges that Rudy has faced himself in his own life. So does that give you guys who are tuning in, who are listening, the idea behind what you know is going to be so valuable to other people who are not quite there yet. There is something most definitely that you definitely need. And I'm just going to move over to the comments and see what we've got here. We've got Beatrice saying, yes, she's understanding the unique value that you offer. That was from the conversation around the Sell with Soul. And then Clarence is saying, we need more men like you, brother. I wish you all the best and well done. Okay, that's wonderful. Thank you for that comment. And if you do have any comments, or questions you might want to ask either myself or Rudy, please make sure you either come on live or you pop them in the chat. Now, another question for you, Rudy, is where do you actually see your business, your program, going in the next sort of 3 to 5 years?
You know what I've discovered? I think one of the things that we're all looking for is to be a person of influence. When people start sharing their knowledge, as soon as you get into a crowd and people are talking, you want to put your 2 pennies in. We all want to have a degree of influence, and so I want to be influential internationally. I think that the world is getting smaller, for one, and I think that right across the world, people are struggling and not recognizing there's gifts within themselves that they can actually, change. I mean, gosh, if I could speak another language, my God, what would that become? You know what I mean? So people who speak multiple languages don't recognize the ability that they have, the gift that they have. People who can talk well don't realize that there's a salesperson within them. They've got some skills and abilities, but no one's ever poured into them. And so for me personally, I like to go wider afield and touch as many lives as possible. And we've got the kind of medium to do that now. With used to back in the day it was TV, radio, and newspaper. Now we've got the internet. So we've got YouTube, we've got blogs that we can write and so on. So we can touch the world. And so there's no limitation. And that's one of the things I suppose basically there's no limitation of where we can be in 3 to 5 years' time. So international is one, and then helping supporting small and medium-sized businesses is my kind of drive. But I love coaching and training, and so I want to do more of that. So developing individuals, really changing their mindsets, seeing some transformation, and seeing people come out of their cell, their gel, their mindset. I think the mind is the battleground. Once you overcome your battleground, you can be a winner anywhere you go.
Yeah, 100% agree with you on that one. And what a great vision, not only do you want to support people locally, but as you say, maximizing the World Wide Web. And I say to everybody that the minute that you have this thing called a mobile phone at your disposal, you are a TV host, you are a podcast host, you are absolutely everything that you need to be to get your message out to the world. In fact, you don't need anything more than that. And you can do that from the very seat of your own home. And I love it, Rudy, because I've known you for a few years now, and I know you personally, and actually I know you to be a very great encourager. And one of the things, you mentioned being a pastor before, and one of the things in that is that we naturally want to help people, right? And in our helping, sometimes when we're moving into business life, we might find it difficult to actually then turn that thing that we do so naturally and have been doing so freely for so long into what I was talking about before, actually turning them into clients, right? And then asking for the sale. Tell us, what has been your challenge around, turning your profession and what you do and what you love to do and your serving heart into something that's a business, and now you feel, that you want to ask people potentially for payment for? Tell us what your view is from a male perspective, even of that.
Self-belief. One of the things that we all have is a backstory. We all have we grew up in a certain way. We were influenced by certain people, things that were said to us, and things that we said to ourselves to some degree as well, has affected us in our adulthood. And one of the things that we discover is as you start investing and start learning and start developing yourself, you start putting all those noise aside and you start listening to your own voice. And you recognize when you get to a certain age, you don't really care what people say anymore. You're just fed up of it, So you don't care because it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt. You only allow it to hurt if you want it to. It's like saying, "Oh, Rudy, you're ugly." Well, that's your opinion.
I noticed you haven't changed there then.
I don't need to accept it. So
that's right.
I go into business. The reason I'm not doing Facebook Live, the reason I'm not running my business is because I'm concerned about what other people are going to say. Who cares? You know what I mean?
Yes.
So basically, once you start getting past that, you start self-belief, you start recognizing they're living their life and they're happy. Let me be happy. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So believe in myself and moving forward. That's what's helped me to overcome procrastination, limiting beliefs, in shiny object syndrome. imposter syndrome, all those things, because I twisted my mindset around to say, you know what, let me start trusting myself and investing in myself.
I love that. I love that, Rudy. Thank you so much for sharing your very candid, open, a real perspective on what you think about that. And it is absolutely true. If we were, all of us could be of the mindset where we don't really care what people think of us and what we do, then so many people would be set free, firstly in their mindset, and then in their ability to actually move forward with their vision for their life and for themselves. But it is one of those areas, isn't it? The mindset, that's probably one of the hardest things to overcome. And as Joyce Myers likes to say, the battlefield is in the mind, and she created a whole book around that. And for those of you who haven't heard of it, it's a fantastic book, whether you're a believer or whether you're not, to actually get into, because a lot of our own personal demons are literally in between the two polarities of our ears, right? It's all in our head, a lot of it. So when you can actually overcome the battlefield of the mind and increase your faith, all right, to believe that you can overcome, those things you spoke about, Rudy, things that we might have, heard when we were younger, or perhaps things that we've learned behavior as we've gone on in childhood and turned into adults. Once you can overcome all of those things, and I think this for me happened probably when I was about 45, coming up to 50 years old. I got this attitude where I just didn't care. Do you know what I'm saying? All my life I'd spent worrying about what other people thought. And I thought, well, hold on a minute. My life's halfway through now. I've got to at least spend the next 50 years of my life, really serving, but not worrying about what people think, or worrying about what I think of myself, for that matter, because it was hindering me getting the message out. So I completely understand that. And today we've got behind...
Look how fast you've gone since you had that. Look how quick you've actually accomplished what you've got since you've changed that mindset.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, I 100% agree. It's almost like gone from ground zero to 100 miles an hour, the Usain Bolt sprint kind of thing, I just want to kind of tune in with the people that we've got online with us here on the live. We've got Ramanda, Beatrice, Clarence. Do you guys have had any comments or any questions that you might want to ask either myself or Rudy today? But welcome, guys, for taking the time to come out behind the scenes. Feel free. Okay, anybody got any comments that they'd like to say, any questions that they might want to ask? If you haven't, I'm going to count you down. Okay, it seems like we don't have any questions. Rudy, I'm going to ask you another question here. What's one big thing that you've achieved maybe in the last 3 months that you're really proud of?
Actually, I've got two, if you don't mind me sharing the second one as well.
Not at all, feel free.
It's a program. So as you know, it's taken me such an age to get into this stage regarding the program. I've got it now, it's all completed. I'm launching it next month, so I'm excited about that. But also to take into consideration, I actually work full time. So I got a part-time job. I've got a part-time business, if you like, side hustle. But one of the things that's happened at work, because of my side hustle, I've actually created another new role for me, my day job. So I'm actually now a social media manager. So which
fantastic.
Is for me as well. So now social media manager, as well as learning and development, as well as coach and trainer. Those things are again build up my confidence, because I recognize I've been doing all this stuff for years for other people. Now it's time to turn it around and invest in myself. So the doors are opening up as soon as you step out of your comfort zone and start recognizing the gift is inside you.
100%. I think that you've got to a stage now where you're saying, whatever opportunities come my way, that I'm prepared, I'm comfortable, and I'm happy to step forward into them. And one of the things that I love saying, which is kind of like a bit of a slogan for my Expert Signature System program, is that your gifts will make room for you, okay, and bring you before great men. And that particular statement is taken from the scriptures, okay, and I love it because it is true. But you have to be so in tune with your gift and not fearful of actually bringing that forward. And even if you are, step out in faith. That's where faith kicks in when you're fearing, right? Because really all it is false evidence appearing real. So you've got to conquer that by saying, do you know what? It doesn't really matter. I'm going to do this, come what may. The fact is, if I've stepped out, I'll step over. And that's exactly what you've done, Rudy, here, as far as, stepping into a brand new role, in alignment with what you're doing. But you said, you know what? I'll learn it. It's okay. I can do this. I've got some comments here. So we've got Beatrice who's saying, Same here, Netty. After 40 years, I stopped worrying about what other people's opinions are. Brilliant. We've got Clarence saying, well done and keep on going. You are doing an amazing job. Love that. Thank you so much for that. And Rudy, just another question for you. Since you've created your expert signature system, can you tell us how many people that you've shared it with, how many people you've signed on into the program who are interested right now?
Well, the sharing, I did my homework. So one of the things that I do at work is I do my research. I talk to a lot of people about the build up, what they think about it, of course, their opinions and so on, and I adapt it accordingly. The signing up, basically, I've got 3 people that are interested in it. I said I won't do anything until I actually launch, which is next. They're lined up to sign up. But I've got 3 people so far.
Yay! Can I do just a minute for a clap? Yay!
Thank
I
you
love it
very
when my
much.
clients get clients. I love that.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
So I've got 3 interested at the moment. The formal launch starts next month. I'm doing a webinar next month,
Excellent.
so they're looking forward to that. And then from there, and it's only it's a 90-day program, and it's
Yes.
quite exciting because I know that I'm going to see transformation because people are looking to have a side hustle, which is what I'm demonstrating. You can actually do your side hustle whilst you got your full-time job. Nothing should stop you from achieving your goals. There's no
Yeah, I
excuse.
love that. Yeah, I love that. And it's so true, isn't it? Because a lot of people might say, oh, but I'm working 9 to 5 and I don't have time to do this or do that. But really and truly, like you said before, we all have the same 24 hours in a day. So the only difference between, say, somebody like Oprah, somebody like, Dr. Phil, somebody like Steve Harvey, somebody like Tony Robbins, and you and me is what you do with that time. And you can't say that you don't have enough time because actually, if you look at all of these people, they're making it and they're doing it. So it's really about our own ability to allocate that time wisely. And even when I did the first part of the teaching prior to, having you in the hot seat, I spoke about getting rid of things that are toxic and potentially people that are toxic, people that waste your time. Time check-in is one of the biggest things that you can do to actually start to create more time to do the things that you love and to help you to push you forward towards developing either your career or your life in a specific direction. You are responsible, you are responsible. And I think that is the main message that we're kind of pushing forward here, really. But everybody has the same amount of time. So Rudy, what would you say to somebody who's out there who really just struggle with procrastination, really just does struggle because of their history and doesn't feel confident to be able to step out and step forward? What would you advise or guide them or coach them, to be able to do? One quick tip that you might have for that type of individual listening in today.
I think you have to have an emotional connection with your why. Why do you want to achieve what you want to achieve? And then the other side of it, why do you want to stay where you are? What's the emotional attachment to that? If you're beaten down, trodden, what's the emotional attachment to that? Why would you want to stay there? And you got to look within yourself about your dream because I think most people say they have a dream, desire to do more, get more, have more, be more. And so, what is the emotional attachment to that? What will it give you? And then again, you look at it. What have you lost out by not taking the first step? And so, when you consider all those things and the combination of things, of course, but the thing is to have your goal in mind. What's the desire and the why? And that will give you focus to where you want to go to.
I love that. I love that, Rudy. Thank you. Sorry, was you going to say something else as well?
I could go on, but I'll stop there.
I just wanted to hone in on 2 things that you said there. Thank you very much. And that was really true, isn't it? Your mindset is this why and why not. Why should I and why shouldn't I kind of thing. Yeah. And that is beautiful. You've got to connect with your reason. You've got to connect with the what my mentor, she says the fiery why, she says the fiery why. So connect with that thing within you that's going to drive you forward. And actually that thing that's going to be so compelling that it pushes you to keep on going. And once you connect that to the emotion and understand your reason why, then of course it will help you to overcome all of those fears of starting And all of those negative things that you're hearing, that negative self-talk that you might be hearing in there, telling you all the reasons why you shouldn't start your business, all the reasons why you shouldn't potentially work your way forward to start leaving your job and start to become the creator of your own economy. And I'm such an advocate for that, and I'll just share a little story. I had a conversation with an ex-colleague of mine today, and his business has been affected by COVID. It's in one of those businesses that is in training development. However, it's in a social care field, but a lot of the training that they're doing right now, they're not employing individuals to do the training. So they're actually, what they're relinquishing it on the expertise for going online. So they're not getting the same level of service. So his business is in turmoil at the moment. So I said to him, look, there's a new way and a different way. And for years and years and years, he's never really thought about becoming an online trainer or becoming an online coach, or, he's got maybe 30 odd years of business experience. So it was a real pleasure for me to actually open up his mind to help him to think outside of the box. And that's really what it is. You need to have somebody like Rudy, who's a fantastic encourager, a fantastic person for inspiration, but also will help you to see what's possible. And that's what, coaches like us do. We help you to see what's possible so that you can start to believe in yourself, to build that confidence that you need to step out and step over into your future as well. So that's really what we want to say. I don't know, Rudy, if you've got any sort of last words, or if anybody that's listening on live have got any questions, please do feel free to open up your mics, and I'm just going to let you guys have, the opportunity to say the last words. Or ask any last questions.
To your audience, really, if I'm going to say anything to your audience, Netty, I would say to them to have that growth mindset, that you can achieve anything, and that you have to ask yourself the question, why shouldn't I be great? Because you playing small does not help anybody, your family, friends, relatives, strangers that come into your life. So you might as well go for the big goal and become successful.
I love that. I love that. Play big, don't play small, and go for your goals. Absolutely brilliant guidance and brilliant advice there, Rudy. Thank you very much. And we've got another comment. It's saying, congratulations, all the best with your launch. That's from Clarence. Thank you very much for those of you that have put some comments in there. And for those of you listening to us live, thank you so much for tuning in. And if you are catching this on the replay, I'd love for you to actually leave us some comments in the chat box below, and we will definitely follow those up. And thank you so much for everyone that's tuned in live. And again, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, pop your notifications on. And if you would like to become a hot seat guest for our show, please do send us an email at powerupcoachingacademy at nettyb.com. I'll put all the details in the comments below. And lastly, I just want to thank my special guest for tonight, Rudy. Thank you so much. And everyone else that's listening in, thank you for tuning in today. And of course, we look forward to seeing you same place, same time next week. Okay, take care. God bless.
Thanks.